Everybody, I'm Marcus.
I'm Ryan.
And together,
we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics.
We back here today for our weekly review of our NFL standout players on offense and defense. Also, we're going to go over our second annual NFL Power Rankings, our top 5 teams in the league, and also give you guys some games to watch for this upcoming weekend in college and NFL. Now, I'm going to keep it short this week. I'm going to start on the offensive side of the ball. My playmaker for the quarterback position, I'm going to have to go Cam Newton.
Right.
Mr. Superman, you had you a game there, sir. 20 for 26, 242 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the key, no interceptions.
Right.
And you also had 30 yards rushing and 1 touchdown running. So you accounted for 4 TDs of the 5 TDs that you guys scored. Y'all beat the Vikings 35-10 in the route. We all know you had it in you, Cam, but the key is consistency. You did it that week, and can you come back and do it the next week?
Right.
All right. Next up, in the running back position, I gave a shout out to this guy last week, but then again, he came back and have another solid game for the Green Bay Packers, and that's Mr. Eddie Lacy
from
Bama, and you already know how Bama players roll. They roll tide. 23 carries, 120 yards, 5.2 yards per carry. Like I said, it's his second strong game, which is more important to me and stands out more is that you did it against Baltimore, right, who's known for having a great rush defense, even though they down without Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and some of the other leaders they had. So I got to salute you for that, Eddie Lacy. You doing your thing, man. Keep it up, and you looking at Rookie of the Year coming your way. Now for the wide receiver, tight end position. I got a lot of different options, but for me, I got to go with the man, Vernon Davis. He's coming back off that hamstring, that he hurt against Seattle, so right, he hasn't really been up to speed, but now he looks like he's back in the full form. 8 receptions, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's an all-pro, man, and Kaepernick, keep getting that man the ball if you want to be successful, especially without Michael Crabtree.
Right, absolutely.
And I also want to give a shout-out. Who does this? Joseph Fourier. 3 catches.
Right.
3 touchdowns.
Can't get any better.
Hey, shout out to you, man. Anytime you go 3 catches for 3 touchdowns, you're going to get a shout out from the Northwest Sports Fanatics. So Joseph Fourier, I salute you from the Detroit Lions. Now, what about you on the defensive side of the ball?
I want to make it short and sweet as well. First off, we'll go with Tim Jennings.
Oh,
Pro Bowl corner from the Bears. He had 2 interceptions. It seems like he's always getting 1 or 2 every game now. He had a pick 6 out of the 2 interceptions, 64 yards total. That really helped the Bears beat the Giants. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with the running back situation the Giants have had and the quarterback problems. So that was a good win for the Bears to show that they might be the best team in the NFC North. Next, I got to go to another team in the NFC North, A.J. Hawk. Green Bay Packers, right? So obviously you have some injuries with some of your star players there on the defensive side. Clay Matthews is out. So you got to actually step up your game, and he did. 8 tackles, 3 sacks, and that obviously helped you win your game there, obviously against the Ravens, right? So that's a nice solid win for you. And then last but not least, I got to shout out the guy from the right? Kiko Alonso. You are playing really well right now. 9 tackles solo, 13 tackles assisted, 22 total for the game. So it doesn't really get any better than that. And, you might have Eddie Lacy get the offensive rookie of the year, but defensive rookie of the year, Kiko looks like he might have it on lock. And one last shout out I got to give. Chiefs over the Raiders, 24-7, obviously over the weekend.
Right.
Tom Bali, 3 tackles, 3.5 sacks, the most out of any player, obviously last week. But the best part, defense combined for 10 sacks. Combined. Between him and Derek Johnson, 5.5. So shout out to the Chiefs. There is a reason why you are undefeated. Yeah, you did play the Raiders, but 10 sacks. I got to salute that right there. Next, we want to go to our power rankings.
Our power rankings, man. It's a lot of good teams in the NFL right now, but this is me and Orion, Northwest Sports Fanatics, top 5 teams in the NFL. 5, we're going to go with the Northwest team, the Seattle Seahawks. They're the number 2 rushing team in the NFL right now. They got a 5-1 record. They're led by, of course, Mr. Russell Wilson, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 62 completion percentage, and he also chipping in 294 rushing yards. Of course, beast mode. It seems like he's having a down year.
A little bit.
But he's still on pace. He got 489 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. you know, they really don't have a dominant wide receiver, but Doug Baldwin, Golden Tate, Sidney Rice, they're getting the job done.
Right, and then obviously on the defensive side of the ball, you got one of the best defenses in the league. You got Earl Thomas III, best safety in football, Brandon Browner, obviously sitting there at corner and safety, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor.
Mr.
You know, right? You got the best secondary, those four, and then you got a nice guy in the middle, Red Bryant.
Wow.
So it doesn't really get any better than that. And then you plug in all the other guys, obviously on in that rotation. So that's why they're sitting in the top 5.
Shout out to Bobby Wagner too. Now, our fourth team that we have here, we're going to go out to the AFC West. Kansas City Chiefs, led by Mr. Andy Reid, 6-0 right now.
Surprising.
Yeah, it's very surprising. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect such a quick turnaround for them.
Yeah, me either.
You know, they got Alex Smith, you know, the game manager,
Right,
but all he does is win games and don't turn the ball over. Of course, they led by top 5 running back in the league, Jamal Charles, 475 yards rushing and a TD. Donnie Avery, he's been solid for them, 310 yards, 17 yards per catch. But Dwayne Bowe, where you at, dog? You coming up on the milk carton, man. You know, you 6-0 right now, so nobody's really talking about that, but you're gonna have to step that up, man. And what about the defense?
Yeah, defense is solid. It's probably my favorite defense in the whole entire NFL. You got Derek Johnson, very underrated linebacker. Tamba Ali, another great defensive player. You got Eric Berry. Justin Houston is learning from Tamba Ali, so his stats are up. Don Terry Poe, the rookie, obviously. So you got numerous names there, left and right. So I really like that defense for the Chiefs. And I'm not sure if they can beat the Broncos in the division, but you know they're probably going to get that wild card if for nothing else. So look for them to create some damage as we move forward.
All right, shout out to my man Jimmy Whitaker out there in Missouri, the Chiefs. I did that for you, man. Now, next we're going to go number 3, the New England Patriots. Underrated, man. You know, they lost a whole bunch of key players, but they still getting it done, 5-1. But check these stats out for Tom Brady. I was doing my research and listen to this. Tom Brady, 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
That's it. 4 picks, 56% completion percentage, 79 QB rating. And they 5-1, man.
Yeah.
So it gives you hope that Gronk is coming back real soon. Stephen Ridley, you know, he had an all-pro year last year. He's kind of down in the numbers. He's been injured a little bit. Kenbrell Tompkins, a rookie. He has 4 TDs of the 8 total TDs that Tom Brady has thrown for. And so I just got a feeling, you know, they just lost Jared Mayo. How much better are the Patriots going to get? But right now they looking pretty good with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, number 3 team.
Yeah, and then obviously you got Brandon Spikes. You know, he'll step up for that leadership role since Jared Mayo is out for the year. Devin McCourty, Chandler Jones, Rob Nikovich. I mean, the names go on. And
Loaded.
Patriots,
Yeah.
you know, if you got the best coach, you know, in Belichick, arguably, one of the top 3 quarterbacks right now in Tom Brady, even though it seems like he's almost 40 and he's been almost 40 forever, but they know how to get it done. So shout out to them. Patriots, you are playing very well, even though Brady maybe isn't.
Right. Yep. You're having a nice little season there. Now, number 2 team, we're going to go down to the dirty down in New Orleans, as my man Marty Wise would say. The New Orleans Saints. Right now, they got the number 5 offense in the league. They're led, of course, by Mr. Drusifer Breeze. 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 102 QB rating. They're not getting much from the running game.
No.
But, you know, you still got Jimmy Graham, Darren Sproles, Marquise Colston. They're holding it down on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm going to need for maybe Pierre Thomas or one of them running backs to step it up. Give Drew Brees some help running the ball.
Yeah, and obviously you got, you know, certain pieces there like, you know, Darren Sproles. Yeah. You know, he's obviously making a huge impact for him as well. But on the defensive side, Kenny Vaccaro, their first-round draft pick at safety. This guy is compared to John Lynch, Brian Dawkins, kind of like an Ed Reed. He's a hard hitter, really aggressive, good footwork. So watch for him to keep moving up the ladder, obviously in the safety chain there in the NFL. Curtis Lofton, Malcolm Jenkins, Cameron Jordan. So you got a lot of
nice names there.
Nice little core of players, and obviously it shows you how good the coach is when you bring him back. Obviously, with that year that they struggled last year at 7-9, you're 2 wins away from what you did last year already.
Yeah, and they also brought in Rob Ryan to taking control of that defense there. So our number 1 team, drum roll. the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
6-0 under John Fox out there in Denver. Number one offense in the league, of course. They led by no other than Mr. MVP itself, Peyton Manning. 22 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And actually, you know who's having a real good year for the Broncos right now? Ncaa Moreno.
Right.
He's solid, man. He has 373 yards rushing, 4.6 yards per carry, and he has 7 rushing TDs. Already. So he's having a good year. I know LaShawn McCoy was on Twitter talking trash about Ncaa Moreno. So Ncaa, tell him get his wins up, and then he can talk trash. The receivers, you got Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker, Wes Welker, Julius Thomas. You got 4 receivers that's on pace for 1,000 yards.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't think that's ever been done. And of course, Wes Welker is leading the way with 8 TDs. Good looking, Wes. You know, I got you on my fantasy team. Keep up the good work.
And on the defensive side, Champ Bailey just came back last game, so they're looking for him for that leadership role. Von Miller had the suspension. He's coming back, obviously, this weekend as well. Chris Harris, Danny Trevathan, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. So you got some names there, and they're playing well. Obviously, the offense has got a little more sexy names, but obviously you're still getting some good quality play on that defensive side with the Broncos. So keep it up, and we might be able to see you in the AFC Championship game.
They getting Mr. Von Miller back this week, man. So it's going to be trouble. Now, what about our college football games to watch this weekend?
There's quite a few games to watch. I'm just going to name a couple. The first game that's going to be on around noon, 12:30 on ABC is going to be number 9 UCLA, right? To show how dominant they are, 5-0 versus number 13 Stanford, who's 5-1, who actually just dropped a game against Utah. A little surprising, but this is going to show who is the second best team besides Oregon in the Pac-12. So stay tuned for that game. That's going to be one of the best ones all weekend. Same time on CBS, if you're a fan of Johnny Football like we are.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be on. We're going to be watching that too. And Texas A&M plays Auburn. A&M is ranked 7th right now in the nation. Auburn's 24th.
Okay.
So you're going 5-1 versus 5-1. So it'll show SEC, obviously the rest of the teams in the SEC, how good Johnny Football is and what he means to that program.
And if you ain't know about Johnny Football, man, must see TV.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the best player right now in college football, except maybe Marcus Mariota and a couple other players that are playing pretty well as obviously as the season moves forward. But I think the best matchup all weekend is a showcase ACC matchup. We got number 5 Florida State with famous Jameis Winston, the best freshman in college football, right? Right. You got them at 5-0 versus number 3 Clemson with Taj Boyd and Sammy Watkins.
Nice.
So that's going to be on at 5 on ABC, a showcase game, lots of NFL players on both these teams moving forward. So you got to watch that if you're going to watch a game, number 5 versus number 3. And then last game, if you're out in the Northwest out here, Washington State versus Oregon. We're still trying to plug away. We had a nice win against UW last weekend, and 4-3 versus 6-0. We should be able to take care of business, but obviously we'll have to just wait and see how everything plans out. What about NFL on Sunday? What do we got on Sunday?
All right, first I want to give a shout out to Thomas Tyner, man. I see you out there. Keep putting that work in. And DeAnthony Thomas, get back soon, man. Take your time, let the ankle heal up, and come back and get ready for this natty run. NFL games to watch this weekend. First, we're going to go with the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Great matchup.
It's for first place in the NFC East. Cowboys coming off a win against my Skins, and the Eagles, they still flying high. They just coming off a win as well,
right?
Against the
Tampa Bay Bucks.
I tried to skip that out for you.
It's 0-16, and we'll have to see.
So that'll be they typically always play good games, division games down to the wire. So that'll be a good game to watch. And also the main event, the Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning, he's coming home against the Indianapolis Colts and his understudy Andrew Luck.
Right.
It's been a lot of trash talking by Jim Irsay in the media about how he wish he would have won more Super Bowls with Peyton and kind of getting under his skin. So you don't need to get that man no motivation, man. You don't mess around and lose by 50 out there. Now, I like Andrew Luck. He's progressing along pretty nice, setting himself up to have a successful career just like Peyton Manning had. And that's going to be a real good game on Sunday night, so y'all make sure y'all check that out.
Yeah, must-see TV. If you're going to watch one game this weekend, college or pro, it might be the Broncos versus the Colts, the one to tune into.
Of course. And before I get into my final say here, I do want to give a shout-out to Nick Foles of the Eagles. Narducci will kill me if I didn't. He won NFC Player of the Week for a nice game. You did play a nice game, so I got to give you a shout out for that. But you can follow me on Twitter, MarcusHill_NWSF.
And Orion_NWSF.
Hit us up on Facebook.com/NW Sports Fanatics.
And we wanted to say thank you and shout out to all our sponsors for supporting us. Follow our page. Give us an extra likes.
Yeah, we love all the love and support that we getting back from y'all. Also, hit us up on Instagram at NWSportsFanatics.com. No, at NW Sports Fanatics on Instagram. Shout out to Banner Bob for the banner in the background. Hit him up at designshack.net. I'm Marcus, this Orion.
And together,
we are the Northwest
Sports Fanatics.